food. More than you ever wanted to know. Woo! Hi, this is food all you never wanted to know. And this is a little patch of spaghetti squash. As you see, the leaves are having problems. I don't know if it got diseased or it's just getting near the end of the season. We have had a few nights in the mid-40s, which isn't necessarily good for squash. But anyway, this spaghetti squash is getting near the ripe stage. This one I think I'm going to pick now. And they have really tough stems, so it helps to cut them off. Remember, whenever you pick squash, to keep some of the stem on, because that helps the squash to be able to store longer. Now it does have a little bit of green on that side. I'm hoping that it will yellow up in storage. So we'll see about that. There's another one down there, another one over there. They're not quite ripe, so I'm hoping that they'll last through the cold nights that we're getting here. We have two more inside. So we're going to go from here and we're going to go to another kind of squash that we've been growing. Here's our DIY gate. It's really fancy. Here we have these little plastic things that we just go like that to keep it shut. Anyway, one there, one there, one there.
Does that keep rabbits out?
Yeah, if they don't run under. We have had some rabbits in here. They run under the gate over there. They find ways. But anyway, so this gate is not a gate, but it was cheap. So that's what we did. So parts of the garden have not been planted this year. We've left them fallow. Sometimes on purpose,
Left them what?
fallow, which means...
What does that mean?
Fallow means you just let the weeds grow, the grass grow, maybe you cut it down. You keep something on it to cover. Be great if we put a nitrogen fixing cover crop like peas, but we didn't do that. Anyhow,
Interesting.
you see this trellis system that we built this year. These are cattle panels. We have, actually it's just one cattle panel put up with these nice T-posts. And they hook around with this wire that holds them still. And this is down into the ground, and so it attaches. It's very sturdy. And I tried planting our butternut here this year. So this is, let me get my scissors. So these are Waltham butternut, W-A-L-T-H-A-M, I believe. That's how you spell it. These are one of my favorite squashes. They're very sweet. They're just delicious. If you want to make pie or bread out of it, you can, just like pumpkin. But what we like to do is cut them down the middle, stick them in the oven with a little bit of butter, and cover it and cook it, and just, oh my goodness, that's all it needs is a little butter. It's delicious. So I'm going to be picking these because I think the cold hit these vines and they're not very happy. But look at all this. Ooh, that one has a hole. This is why, oh.
All right, so what do you do with those?
Okay.
You just chuck them into your neighbor's
we're gonna
yard?
put these in the compost pile.
Okay.
Okay, this happened because it was on the ground. And bugs get in there, and we'll just put that there for the moment, clean off my hands.
Now, can that infect any of the other squash that you're picking here? Is that ever a problem?
No, it's just, uh-oh, this one has some squish.
Uh-oh.
That one goes with the
Why don't
other
you chuck
one.
that into your neighbor's, maybe one you don't like?
I'll put that, what neighbor?
True.
Okay, oh, I probably should have done this a few days sooner. See,
Is that one bad too?
I think so.
Oh, that's
See,
too
what
bad.
happened with this batch of squash, there are different parts of the property. This one's a good one. Would you like to take that?
Sure.
There are different parts of the property that get colder. And sometimes the frost will come and settle down in a spot. And I did notice last year, we're relatively new to this property. We've only been here about 6 years. That's a good one. And so parts of the property are colder than others. And I think this may be a pocket that it gathers the frost faster.
So would you not plant these squash here again in this location?
Oh, I would. I would just remember to watch the weather sooner and
Gotcha.
realize they need to be clipped off sooner.
Now, is there any benefit? You got two types of fencing here. You have one that's further apart, and you have one that's closer together. Is there any benefit for the squash to have one type of fencing over the other?
This is stronger.
Right.
This one's just stuff we had because the row was too long for the 16-foot cattle panel.
So it really doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
No. Oh boy, this one's tough.
You got to get some Cutco scissors.
Yeah, well.
Now we're shilling for Cutco. We need sponsors.
Yeah, these are not strong. I had another kind, and somebody was mowing the field, and it's out there somewhere.
Oh, no
Wasn't
way.
Me. I'm not going to say who.
Well, everyone knows who it is, but okay.
So there are quite a few squash here. Now this one was up against the ground. It has one little nibble, see that? But it's fine. Otherwise, we did grow these organically. Everything we do is organic. And the reason for that is if I want to eat poisons, I'll just go to my food store. Buy my poisons at the food store. So anyway, oh, did I miss one over there? Let's see. Okay, that one was close. So these ones that have little nibbles that got on the ground, we'll use first. And they're perfectly fine. But if I tried to store them for a month, they would probably rot. And, oops. See, that one has some bugs coming in it, and the top fell off when I picked it. So that'll be one of the first ones. That might even be squishy. See, wherever you hit the ground, it's important to try to keep them off the ground. And most people just grow them on the ground, which is fine if you are using pesticides, but I'm not going to. Okay, that one is dead.
So what's your primary defense against bugs and stuff if you're not using any kind of, pesticides, quote unquote?
There are different methods for different things.
Like for squash, like what do you do?
Well, the biggest problems are squash bugs.
Right, I got a lot of those this year. We just gave up.
And squash vine borers. Borers are the worst because they just dig into the vine down at the ground level, and they're just awful.
So what do you do to defend?
What do I do, or what should I do?
Both.
If I were on the ball, there are some good organic methods, and in another video, I'll be talking about some of those.
Oh, okay.
As time goes on, because I need to get better at remembering to do them. I have gotten pretty good with the potatoes. I'm saving the potatoes, the potato beetles. I need to get better with squash because we lost a whole other variety of squash this year, which apparently is not very resistant, as hardy as these are. So anyway.
So what did you do this year to prevent against squash bugs?
Against what?
Against squash bugs, Mom.
These ones, I didn't have to do anything because they really didn't bother them.
Oh.
Butternut squash is a little bit more resistant to things. and I've had better luck growing it than some of the other squashes. Now the summer squashes, they went really well through several harvests, and then they just kind of petered out. And one farmer that I know, Pete from Pete's Produce, back in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, he actually seeds new summer squash every 2 weeks, all through very early spring in the hoop house that he has, all through late summer. So this time of year, which is late September, and he's in zone 7, he probably will be able to have summer squash clear until maybe November if he planted some in his hoop house. So next year I hope to do a little bit more of that, the rotational planting of squash. Now this squash takes all summer, so you might plant it in May, late May, early June, and it's ready in September most likely. So, or maybe even before that. So anyway, I really do suggest that you try this, and we're going to go in a minute to a different squash, and I'll pick these up later. Okay, we're now here in the hoop house, and there's a third kind of squash, and as you can see, it's near the end of the season for this one too. Now this is the baby squash. This is called long neck pumpkin. Okay, and when it starts out, it looks a lot like a zucchini, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to pick this today because this does not have enough time to ripen fully into a mature squash. So I've heard that you can eat it just like zucchini, so that's what we're going to do today. Anyway, this is one of them.
Oh my gosh.
And they're supposedly very good for pumpkin pie. Now this one is green all over, so I'm going to leave it here, and hopefully it will continue to ripen. Here are a couple more little teeny ones. See that? Can you see that? So we're going to eat those green. Let's see, this one, I have some picked inside. Oops, this one is yellow on the bottom. It's not quite ready. You see this one, I'm picking this because it has some orange. And oops.
Careful with the merchandise.
The deal with this squash is you pick it when there's an orange blush on one side. And it lasts a long time in storage, and as it's in storage, it will become orange all around. And it also gets sweeter in storage. So, and then you can make a pumpkin pie, or eat it, we shall see. We'll see how they taste. This one, wow, that one's still green too. I don't see any others. There's one outside, and we'll take a look at that. It grew through the fence. We have fencing in here because when we first built this hoop house, one day there was a groundhog in here. So that wasn't too good. We got rid of it. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to pick the little ones. Hopefully. There's a little baby one. If you bought these in a store, well, you couldn't buy them in the store. They wouldn't sell them.
Why not?
They're too rare. Long pie pumpkin is very rare, and if you were able to buy it, it would be fully mature. This is something that will be a gourmet item, so I'm excited to try it. I'm going to take this and put it with the other ones, and we're going to weigh these in the house. This is some of that. This is some of the long neck pumpkin, the young ones, and I already cut one of them. Look how beautiful it is inside. Look at that. So at this stage, it's very similar to zucchini. Oh, great.
Dad, we're recording.
Okay, you can cut some of this out, right? Okay. Okay. I'm going to put some of this in the pan.
Okay.
And I'm going to add just a bit of garlic powder because garlic powder, zucchini, oh, and there's olive oil in there also. And if I cut up some garlic, yes, I would have put garlic in there. I'm going to turn that up just a tad. Stir fry. And you know what? Some oregano would go well in there too. This time, because this is very Italian. This time I'm using the powder. Just gonna do. Okay?
Wait.
That's oregano. It's a very Italian way to cook squash, summer squash. It's olive oil, oregano, garlic. And you can do it till it's just al dente. You can do it till it's nice and soft. And I kind of like it softer, but not mushy. So I'm not sure how long this is going to take.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to it when it's ready to go.
Okay. So our long-necked pumpkin baby squash, which is very similar again to zucchini, I believe it's done. You have a few here that are thinner, that are very soft, and then a few that have a little bit of bitiness to them. And I'm going to turn this off, get them off the heat, and taste test. I'm going to think zucchini. Again, the long neck pumpkin stage, where you make the pumpkin pie, it is actually a winter squash. This is the summer squash stage.
It's such a lovely day,
Mm.
and the itsy weetsy spider went skipping out.
That's good. This is super good.
Really?
Oops. That is super good.
Okay, here. Hold my gum, will you?
Ooh, it's hot. It's very hot. It's hot, hot, hot. Can you taste it
Wow.
without burning your mouth?
You can throw that gum out. I was just kidding.
Okay.
Give it to me. Come
delicious.
on. I didn't
That
think
is
you'd actually take
delicious.
it.
That is delicious. That is utterly, absolutely
Wow.
wonderful.
That
might
tastes
be-
like you just picked it off the vine.
Yeah,
What you did.
yeah. That's wonderful. So, a good substitute for zucchini. It's not as prolific as zucchini, so, but this is a good thing to do with the squash that is going to get hit by frost and won't be any good. So anyway, that's a wonderful thing. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is food all you never wanted to know.